How's it going, everybody? It's your pal Mega Snoop bringing you another quick Toontown video today. Maybe not so quick, we have a lot to cover. I wanted to make this video because of a few reasons. This new comic was released on the Toontown website. They did another little quick ARG where people were figuring out ciphers and stuff. There was a lot that happened over the weekend. I was having a Friendsgiving with my friends. I was able to cover none of it, but it looks like a lot of other people did. So if you want to go check out some other videos around the YouTube universe, probably get some more information there. But let's talk about what's coming next. So the last thing that they showed was this comic. It was a 3-part series comic, and the third part was finally released, and it has this like really emotional build-up where Flippy is talking to the new head of the Resistance outpost, and Flippy's given this heartfelt speech, yada yada blah 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 blah. And at the end of it, unlike the last two comics, there is no to be continued. And so this leads me to believe that because this is the last thing that the ARG built up to, they aren't trying to build up another comic. They're not going to have any reason to give us another ARG, and the next thing we can expect from them is going to be an update. Matter of fact, as I'm recording this, the game is technically down for maintenance, and I truly believe that once the game comes up at this point, it's not going to immediately have field offices ready and available. However, this could just be a cover in the sense where this is where they're pushing it into the game, they're implementing a lot of back-end stuff, trying to make sure that it works, and then once it's in, they can just snap their finger and suddenly it appears, right? So it might not release yet, but it could be in the game's coding and ready to go. Depending on how long the game's down, maybe it's just maintenance because a rat started chewing on the server cables. I don't know. But you did get a little bit of a sneak peek into the new Resistance porthole that you jump into to get to the new Resistance area. And there's a lot I wanted to cover before Field Office is coming out, making sure that you guys are ready and making sure that I'm ready. So let's get this started. So the first thing you're going to need is the prerequisites. You're going to need what was outlined before, at least one level 7 gag, completely finish the task line, and make sure you have all of your suits. That is the first thing you're going to need, otherwise you can't even think about doing field offices. I'm guessing there's going to be some sort of lock on it where you can't enter the field office unless you have like a key card or a key, and you can't get that key card unless you do the task for the field office. So that's going to be step one, is getting all of those. And as we've seen from previous screenshots and different videos, we know that these are going to be taking over the Toon HQs that are on the street. There was some concept art of a Minnie's Melody Land Toon HQ, and I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a foreshadowing where Minnie's Melody Land is going to be the first one to be striked. We don't really know. But I do know that the field offices are supposed to scale depending on the neighborhood that they land in. If they land in Toontown Central, you're looking at probably like a really low tier Cellbot field office that's going to be slightly difficult because it's end game content, but it's not going to be that difficult, as opposed to a Donald's Dreamland Cellbot field office, which will probably have higher level cogs or more cogs in that case. Or maybe even the final boss will have more health. I don't know. We'll see. But this is a very important thing. I know a lot of people are kind of underhyped and underwhelmed for field offices because they just don't understand that field offices are not going to be exactly the same way that they were in TTO. For some reason, it's still in people's minds that they plague the streets, they have no purpose, they're not lining up with anything. Let me put your mind at ease. So here's what we do know. We do know that the field offices obviously are not taking over any street buildings, so they're not going to plague the streets. They're only taking over the Toon HQs, so we know it's going to be out of the way, and it's not going to be bothersome for one to be there if you're trying to just do your normal day-to-day things. And we also know that there's a task line incorporated to it. It's not just running in to do one for the sake of doing one for little to no reward. There's actual tasks that will probably give actual rewards. So first and foremost, you can have the ease of mind that the structure of how field offices work has been changed, not just field offices themselves. And not only are they adding field offices, they're also adding a whole new area that's going to be under Cellbot HQ called the Resistance Headquarters, and that's where you're going to be picking up these tasks. Rest assured, there's at least going to be something worth looking at that you haven't done before. What else do we know? Well, the field offices themselves are still going to work in a very similar fashion that they did before. As far as I know, there's going to be 2 floors. The first floor is going to be a mini game of sorts. The Move and Shaker Stomper game is still coming back. They're not really making a lot of changes on that. as far as I know. And it's just going to be the general grab the water balloon, throw it at the movement shaker. Once all the movement shakers are cleared, navigate the maze until the end. The other one is supposed to be a cold collar game where you ice skate around the cold collar bullpen and you have to turn up the thermometers to try to make the whole place warmer and melt all the ice. Now, we don't have too many details about this game right now, but it is at least something new to try and maybe give a little bit of variety. That way not every field office is going to be the same. Once you do complete the first floor though, you are going to then transition into a fight. Whether it's a normal fight first and then another elevator for the final fight, or if you're jumping straight into the final fight, has been yet to be seen, but we'll be sure to know like as soon as it comes out, right? But we do know this for sure, that there is supposed to be a big boss fight at the top floor. Not like any boss fight we've seen previously in Toontown Rewritten. Generally, it's just cogs and then an action sequence where you're fighting a big boss. Now, this boss is supposed to be incorporated into the fight as almost like a fifth cog. So you're gonna have the 4 standard cogs, and then behind them there's going to be the boiler boss. And the boiler boss has his own health bar. We don't know how much health he's gonna have. We don't know what kind of attacks he has, but he's always gonna be there. So you have the option to fight one of the 4 cogs, or disregard all 4 of them and attack the boiler directly. Now, I'm guessing if you use something like sound, you're hitting not just the 4 cogs in front of you, but sound will also probably carry and hit the boiler boss cog as well. A lot of this is still unknown, but this is the general premise, to my understanding, of how this boss battle is going to go. Do these 4 cogs get replaced after you defeat them? I'm not quite sure. It would make sense though that if you want a level of difficulty here, that the 4 cogs will constantly stay and you almost have to manipulate keeping them around and make sure they're not dealing too much damage to you while you're fighting the boiler boss directly. But let's say you do all that and finish the field office. As far as we know, the field office doesn't go down. It does need to be completed multiple times. From my understanding, again, there's multiple elevators around the outside of the field office to allow many people to go at the same time and form different groups. And after it gets taken over so many times and defeated so many times, then the entire thing comes down. And then you could say that the field office is cleared. But there is supposed to be a reward for doing the field office, aside from just gag experience. So one of the ideas being thrown around was a remote control. And there's little known about this remote control right now, if it's still the reward, but it's supposed to allow you to control the cogs in battle. Whether that's make them turn and fight each other, or completely leave the battle altogether, kind of like a fire, I'm not sure. Maybe you can put them out of commission, kind of like what a Sue does from Corporate Clash. We will have to wait and see. And it's also not understood if this is a reward given every single time you beat the field office, or if it's a reward given every time you finish a task for the Toon Resistance, kind of like a just for fun task. A lot of things are up in the air, but I'm trying to answer as many preemptive questions as I can. But now is the time before field offices go live that you should be stocking up on your SOSs, Unites, and your Fires. I'm specifically trying to get more Unites because I feel like those are going to be the most useful. I have plenty of SOSs, I have plenty of Fires. I think I'm going to do okay. But getting enough Unites to make sure that you can use those tune-up Unites to make sure you and your crew aren't dying is probably key. Lastly, I want to set some expectations as well. This is a Toontown project. Very few Toontown projects have done an update this large and this ambitious where it hasn't crashed. I'd like to reference the 2.0 update from 2017. And as you can see, it took a little while for everybody to get on the servers. It was a little bit of a struggle. And even when you could get on the servers, it would go down. Even Corporate Clash in its infancy was having a lot of desync errors and issues. Don't expect being able to get on the game right away. Expect that the game may crash here and there. Expect that there may be some bugs. And expect there will probably be multiple downtimes for maintenance after this is released. If we don't get any of that and it runs smoothly, great. But you can't expect it not to happen and then get disappointed when it does. So I just wanted to throw all that out there. That's all the information we have currently and all the expectations set in place. So I'm ready for this to release. As soon as it does, I've got all my G Fuel handy, sponsored by the way, code Megasnoop. And I'm gonna be playing this a lot. I sure am. It's gonna be great. So you can come follow my Twitch, check me out. We can all play together. As soon as this drops, I'm streaming and not until I die. But I appreciate you guys watching this video. Be sure to leave a like if you did enjoy. Any information I might have missed, be sure to leave down in the comment section below for others. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay awesome, God bless, and peace.